Tonight, mixed reaction here in Ottawa. Following U.S. military action in Venezuela.
Very glad, very happy, because we want to live freedom.
It's an outrageous violation of Venezuela's sovereignty.
Some celebrating Nicolas Maduro's arrest, others expressing concern and frustration in the wake of American airstrikes in the Venezuelan capital. Lacing up with the pros.
It meant so much, and as I counted down the day, just waiting for it to come, it was so much fun.
The Ottawa Charge hosts a special hockey camp here in the capital, inspiring the next generation of athletes. And getting back to reality after a holiday tourism boost.
I love school, but I like relaxing as well.
How some are soaking up their last day off before going back to school and the office on Monday. Good evening, and thank you for joining us. A political battle is playing out today in the aftermath of a U.S. military strike that led to the capture of the Venezuelan president. The U.S. saying it would then run Venezuela, but the current government has already appointed a replacement to their abducted leader. CTV's Kamil Karamali starts us off.
Newly released videos show Venezuelan President Nicolas Maduro in custody on U.S. soil after a dramatic abduction early Saturday, taken to a New York City detention center over alleged drug trafficking and weapons charges, expected to make his appearance in federal court tomorrow. U.S. President Donald Trump saying the U.S. will run Venezuela for now, but the current government meeting the U.S. with defiance. Recognizing Vice President Delcy Rodriguez as Venezuela's acting president, but U.S. Secretary of State Marco Rubio appearing to soften the stance on their role in the country.
Are you running Venezuela right now?
Here's the bottom line on it is we expect to see changes in Venezuela.
It's been more than a day since a series of deadly strikes resulted in the capture of Maduro. Venezuelan officials say dozens of military personnel and civilians were killed. The damage seen in the aftermath, Venezuelans now uncertain about the future of their country, while those in Canada watch with worry, believing the U.S. has other motives instead of helping Venezuelans achieve democracy.
Do you think they really care about the Venezuelan people?
No, that's a very clear answer. No. That brings a lot of stress and concern personally to me and to my family.
With the United States controlling Venezuela's massive oil reserves, the impact might even be felt here in Canada over time if the U.S. potentially prioritizes Venezuela's oil supply over Canada's.
Could mean a flood of new oil, which could undermine prices, and that certainly could undermine the output.
Tensions also growing on the legality of the U.S. strike. The United Nations Security Council set to meet tomorrow after calling the attack a dangerous precedent. Other nations, including Mexico and Brazil, have backed that same sentiment. Kamil Karamali, CTV News, Toronto.
And the debate over Venezuela's future spilled into the streets of Ottawa today. Demonstrators gathering outside the U.S. Embassy, reacting to Washington's recent military action in the South American nation. Some are arguing the U.S. had no right to get involved, while some others with close ties to Venezuela are celebrating the recent developments. CTV's Josh Morano joins us live in studio with more on the local reaction. Josh.
Well, Austin, those I spoke with today at the protest say airstrikes by the United States was an attack on the country's sovereignty. But some Venezuelans in the capital, including one woman I caught up with, say intervention by the U.S. has them feeling cautiously optimistic.
For Miriam Graterol, the arrest of Venezuelan President Nicolas Maduro is good news.
Very glad, very happy, because we want to live with freedom.
She moved to Canada in 2018 and says economic hardship and poor treatment of Venezuelans pushed her to leave. But after hearing Maduro was extricated by the U.S. military, she says she feels some relief.
United States could help us, and they have to stay in our country until we could do for ourselves.
Free, free, free Maduro! Meantime, U.S. military action in Venezuela prompting a protest outside of the U.S. Embassy in Ottawa. Organizers claim they stand with the people of Venezuela in defense of their sovereignty.
I think the U.S. has a history of, performing coups against socialist countries for many, many, many years. and this is nothing new.
It's an outrageous violation of Venezuela's sovereignty and the political project that's been unfolding in Venezuela for a number of years.
I am a Chilean. I saw the coup in Chile. I saw when they killed the president. So Maduro has to return to Venezuela. He is the president of Venezuela, and the Venezuelans want him back.
Other messages joining in on Sunday's rally. Those in attendance claim U.S. President Donald Trump did not do this for the people of Venezuela, but rather for his own country.
He wants the oil, he wants to make money off of their land, and he wants a government that he chose that will benefit him directly.
It's about sending a message to the rest of Latin America that the U.S. is dominant, that they can do whatever they want.
For Graterol, there is a sense of hope that the United States will help people like her and her family still in South America.
Because Venezuela was a very good country, and Venezuela could be a very good country in the future.
CTV News reached out to the U.S. Embassy for comment on the protest held out front of its doors today, but they declined to comment. Austin.
Okay, CTV's Josh Morano reporting live for us tonight. Josh, thank you very much for this. And CTV News has extended coverage of the U.S.-Venezuela situation. There are more stories online at ctvnewsottawa.ca. Well, a scary situation in Cornwall this weekend when gunfire rang out in that community, killing 2 people and leaving another person injured. CTV's Natalie Van Roy joins us live in studio with the latest details. Natalie.
Austin, Cornwall police releasing few details, but what we know is that it happened on Leach Drive, a residential neighborhood in the east end of the city. Investigators say when they arrived on scene, they found 3 people, all known to each other, with serious injuries. Police tape surrounds a home in Cornwall Sunday afternoon. Police say 2 people died at the scene. The 3rd adult was transported to hospital where they were treated and remain in stable condition this hour. Police say it's believed this shooting was isolated and there is no risk to public safety. Officers have not released a suspect or possible vehicle description. It's also not clear whether a weapon has been recovered. Now, we will be following this investigation closely and we'll bring the latest details online and tonight at 11:30. Austin.
Okay, Natalie, thank you very much for this. CTV's Natalie Van Roy reporting live for us tonight. Turning now to our first look at the weather forecast, and good news for those who love skating. It's really cold, and it's going to be really cold again tonight. A risk of frostbite, actually, because we're dipping to below -20 degrees. -14 right now, and we do have a mix of sun and cloud, and that is actually our daytime high. But look at tonight's low. -23 here in Ottawa, -25 in Kittigan-Zibi, and how about -27 in Tremblant? Not great skiing temperatures, but they do have a good amount of snow up there. We're warming up tomorrow up to -13. So about 10-degree swing from this overnight low, and snow in the forecast for the nation's capital as well. Same goes for Gatineau with tomorrow's high of -13. Well, dozens of people were forced out of their homes this afternoon after a fire at a multi-unit high-rise building on St. Patrick Street. Ottawa fire crews were called out to the 600 block of St. Patrick shortly before 1 o'clock this afternoon. Upon arrival, firefighters say they spotted haze and they detected high levels of carbon monoxide throughout the building. There was an OC Transpo bus that was brought in to help shelter displaced residents temporarily, and the situation was deemed under control just after 3:15 this afternoon. Ontario Provincial Police say a 70-year-old woman is dead after a crash in Russell Township. Around 4 p.m. yesterday, first responders were called to the intersection of North Russell Road and Route 200 after a 2-vehicle crash involving an SUV and a sedan. A 70-year-old woman was transported to hospital where she was later pronounced dead. No other injuries have been reported. And a crash in the area of Nicholas Street and Laurier Avenue here in Ottawa closed some downtown roads last night. Police say at around 7:15 p.m. Saturday evening, a pedestrian was struck by a vehicle and sustained non-life-threatening injuries. That intersection in Ottawa's Sandy Hill neighborhood was closed for about 2 hours, and police say they are still investigating this incident. Well, the Canada Revenue Agency is trying to recoup roughly $10 billion in COVID benefits. It says they were paid to people who were later found to be ineligible. CTV's Paul Hollingsworth now on the story of a New Brunswick father who's been told he must pay back $13,000.
In the spring of 2020, during COVID-19 restrictions, Brendan Whitney took a leave of absence as a travel consultant to stay home with his 10-year-old son.
His school was closed, and he had no other form of childcare. He was my primary custody was with me.
Whitney applied for CERB, the Canada Emergency Response Benefit, and the Canada Recovery Caregiving Benefit. He was paid thousands of dollars during the COVID shutdowns.
I would have begun receiving the second round in September of 2020.
But now he's receiving letters and collection calls from the Canada Revenue Agency looking to get that money back.
The federal government is now requesting immediate payment of $13,000. They claim that I was not eligible for any of the benefits that I received.
Whitney has been told he was not employed the day before the benefit period started, meaning he was ineligible.
That's just not the case.
Whitney has also forwarded his records of employment to clear up any confusion. He's also requested phone meetings with CRA.
One real CRA agent has had a look at this thing one time, at my file, I mean. And the rest of it's been automated.
According to this accountant, Whitney should be braced for a long and thorough process.
This man needs somebody working with him. He shouldn't be doing this by himself. A lawyer, a tax lawyer, an accountant, anybody.
Whitney says the stress over this situation has been mounting daily.
It doesn't make you feel very good about yourself being treated as if you're lying to them and that you did something wrong when in fact all you did was apply for a benefit that you checked all the boxes for.
He calls the process unfair and says he's done nothing wrong. CTV has reached out to the CRA multiple times, but the agency did not provide a response by our deadline. Paul Hollingsworth, CTV News, Halifax.
It is back to reality for many here in Ottawa starting tomorrow after a long time away from work and school to celebrate the holidays and, of course, the New Year. CTV's Camille Wilson spoke with some of those families today that were enjoying that last little bit of time off. Camille.
Austin, it's back to school for the kids tomorrow and back to work for many parents. But today, families were out and about soaking in all the city has to offer before it's back to early bedtimes and early mornings.
I'm disappointed a little bit. The holidays have been pretty fun.
Miranda and her family are enjoying a last skate on the Rideau Canal Skateway before school starts.
I'm still off one.
She is still learning how to skate, but it beats being in the classroom.
I'm not excited for the fact that my teacher said that there's not going to be any spelling tests till January. It's January.
Families and tourists taking in one final hoorah before the Christmas, New Year's holidays wraps up.
I've had both boys home from daycare and school for a little over 2 weeks now, and the house is a bit of a disaster, so I'm looking forward to getting that organized, getting everybody back to their regular food, regular routine, regular sleeping schedule.
First time for Catherine Lewis and son Elliot since the skateways opened.
We stayed local, so we enjoyed a lot of museums.
Many families taking advantage of the Canada Strong Pass over the holidays, offering free admission to national museums for children under the age of 17 and free travel on Via Rail for those aged 17 and under when accompanied by an adult.
We're actually from Montreal, so we came to Ottawa today to visit various museums. So we just came from the Agriculture Museum. Now we're going to the Science Museum, and later today we're going to be going to the Nature Museum as well. Yeah, so just a big museum day.
Ottawa Tourism says the holiday season is a great balance of outdoor and indoor activities that draws a lot of attraction to the city. And although some are not excited to go back, it's not the same for everyone.
I'm excited for tomorrow.
For Miranda, there's one last activity she wants to check off her list before school on Monday.
I'm excited to teach this little stinker how to knit tonight.
For those that still want to take full advantage of the Canada Strong Pass, giving discounted rates for children and youth to national museums and travel on Via Rail, it's available until January 15th. Austin.
Love that last clip there, Camille.
Absolutely.
Calling her sister a little stinger. That's what sisters are all about,
I
Camille.
tell you.
Thank you very much for this. CTV's Camille Wilson reporting live for us tonight. And the Rideau Canal Skateway is about to open in its entirety as cold temperatures persist. The National Capital Commission says the full 7.8 kilometers of the skateway is set to open tomorrow morning at 8 a.m. However, the NCC says the Patterson Creek area that will remain closed this skating season due to rehabilitation work. Last year, the skateway opened on January 11th and it closed on March 10th. And girls from across the city here in Ottawa took to a different sheet of ice today. They were joining Ottawa Charge players for a skills clinic. As women's hockey grows in popularity, the Charge are hoping events like this can inspire a new generation of hockey stars. CTV's Kimberly Johnson reports.
Moving fast and skating hard. Dozens of girls taking to the ice at the Ottawa Charge Youth Skills Clinic. Being on the ice with her hockey heroes and putting on her new Ottawa Charge jersey. 11-year-old Emma Buck says this is a dream come true.
It meant so much. Like, my mom told me about this, and I was like counting down the day just waiting for it to come. It was so much fun.
Buck says she started playing hockey 4 years ago, and when she's playing, she feels free. So the chance to perform drills and learn new skills in the home of the Ottawa Charge.
It didn't really feel real, honestly, because, like, you know, that there's such a big deal. I was just so happy that, you know, I got to be part of this.
She's among the 100 female players signed up for the 3 clinics on Sunday at TD Place. Players ranging 8 to 14 years old.
There was never many girl hockey players for us growing up, so to be on the ice with female coaches and other female players is so important and so inspiring.
Ottawa Charge forward Manon McMahon says around the age of 8, she realized her love of hockey, and it sparked something inside of her. She says she hopes young girls know that they can make it too.
Being in a room with us is so important for these girls to see that it's so achievable for them.
Women's hockey has been exploding in popularity. The Charge hope to help the players hone their skills and have fun in the process.
Take away one little thing, that's all. You know, 1% better every single day. If they can get exposed to something new that they haven't seen or heard before, then that's a win.
The girls taking in every chance to do just that.
I'm so happy I got to meet the Charge players, super exciting. And the drills we did were so much fun, like fast-paced. I'm starting to feel like that maybe one day I'll be there.
Kimberly Johnson, CTV News.
Coming up, Britain and France carry out airstrikes against ISIS in Syria. We'll have those details straight ahead. Before we go to break, there's a live look through our Centennial Glass sky cam. It is currently minus 14 degrees. Britain and France have carried out airstrikes against ISIS in Syria. The French military released footage of the operation today. Warplanes targeted an underground facility where the terror group was suspected of storing weapons. Officials say the strikes were aimed at preventing the resurgence of ISIS, which is believed to still command between 5,000 and 7,000 members across Syria and Iraq. Britain and France are part of a U.S.-led coalition that is fighting the militants. And 1 person was killed and 2 others wounded when a Ukrainian drone struck a car in the Russian border region of Belgrade ahead of peace talks to end the nearly 4-year-old war in Paris this week. Meanwhile, the death toll from a Russian missile that hit the city of Kharkiv on Friday increased to 4 when 2 bodies were found under the rubble of a building. The latest attacks came after national security advisors from Europe and other allies visited Kyiv on Saturday to discuss security guarantees and economic support as U.S.-led diplomatic push to end the war in Ukraine is intensifying. Sunday mass services were held in the Swiss town where a nightclub fire at a ski resort killed 40 people. Mourners and parishioners filled the church in the resort town. The New Year's Eve fire also injured nearly 120 others, many of whom remain in hospital. Authorities today released the identities of 16 more victims. They are of Swiss, Italian, Romanian, Turkish, and French nationalities. And Canada's Foreign Affairs Minister Anita Anand spoke with her Swiss counterpart earlier today and shared her sympathies with the people of Switzerland. In a post on social media, she said, "Canada grieves alongside you for the lives lost in the tragic fire. We also extend our sympathies to neighboring countries that are mourning during this painful time." Well, crews in Calgary are working around the clock to repair a crucial part of the city's water infrastructure that failed late last month. In the meantime, residents and businesses are still being asked to cut back their water usage and take other precautions. CTV's Stephanie Thomas reports.
Harley Berland boils water before filling up a large container for herself and her cat, Simon, to drink. She's also limiting all of her water use. She's only lived in Westmount for 3 years, but this is the second time she's experienced a water crisis like this.
You know what? Doing it in the winter is a little bit easier than it was during the heat wave, but it's still really frustrating over the holidays.
Notable, the steakhouse in Montgomery is also under the boil water advisory. Staff have found creative ways to continue service.
Bringing 300 liters of drinking water from my other restaurant, the Nash, and about 500 pounds of ice.
With 16th Avenue closed in both directions at the Sarcee Trail interchange, he's concerned about traffic detoured along Bowness Road Northwest.
Now we're into the cold, dark months of January and February. And it's really vitally important to us that we have as many guests here as we can get.
Officials provided an update on Saturday afternoon, but it's still unknown why this feeder main burst on December 30th, causing a catastrophic scene.
So we will spare no expense. We will do this faster than anything we have ever done before, so the Calgarians will never have to worry about something so fundamental as clean, safe drinking water ever again on our watch for the next 100 years.
The pipe has been pumped, drained, and the damaged section is cut for replacement. Repair work is expected to be complete in 14 days. The boil water advisory and lane closure of a major route, the Trans-Canada Highway, both remain in place. The city's water capacity has shrunk to just 40%. Residents across all 4 quadrants are being asked to limit their water usage for the sake of the system.
Calgarians can do this for us right now. And I understand that it's frustrating, but if every Calgarian does this, we won't be in a position where it becomes that absolute emergency.
Under Stage 4 water restrictions, dishwashers and laundry should only run on full loads, and showers kept short until the patchwork project wraps up.
Calgary is sitting on a ticking time bomb. This Bears Paw feeder main will continue to break until a complete alternative is built.
Stephanie Thomas, CTV News, Calgary.
Canada is expected to accept fewer new residents, international students, and temporary workers in 2026. This as the federal government turns its efforts towards economic immigration. As CTV's Rachel Aiello reports, that means skilled workers who can fill critical labor gaps for high-demand jobs may have an upper hand.
For many wanting to call Canada home, the latest immigration levels plan has injected uncertainty into the year ahead. For example, the federal government is cutting the number of international students it'll accept this year in half. A reduction this PhD candidate, who came to Canada from Iran in 2021 to do cancer research, says while necessary, has left many prospective students in limbo.
They don't feel welcomed here. They were invited to come here. They were accepted to come here. And now they're just caught in this perfect storm.
Canada will also be accepting fewer temporary workers this year.
They're more focused on labor shortages now.
Overall, the government plans to admit 380,000 permanent residents in 2026, down from the target of 395,000 admissions in 2025.
There's always winners and losers. The winners are going to be the Canadians, particularly the young Canadians, looking for that entry-level job that has been occupied by a foreign national. The losers are going to be the foreign nationals who came here with false promises of permanent residence.
While it may be shaping up to be a challenging year for the thousands with temporary status who can't stay, Canada is offering express entry for prospective newcomers who speak French or have skills in key sectors, such as trades, agriculture, engineering, education, and healthcare.
Instead of a broad, open arms approach to immigration, it's more selective now. It's more focused on ensuring that the economy can absorb their permanent residents and the workers coming in.
Linked to the shift towards prioritizing economic immigrants is a plan to spend more than $1 billion on a new international talent attraction strategy to incentivize leading researchers and innovators to come to Canada. Rachel Aiello, CTV News, Ottawa.
I think it's just not the year. I think there probably was a few options, but maybe none that were glaring.
Coming up, we now know the Canadian men's Olympic hockey team roster, but for the first time in more than 70 years, there are no players from Quebec.
Get the latest live local breaking news. Sign up now for our morning and evening CTV News Ottawa newsletter. The best local content from CTV News. Your Morning Ottawa, and News Talk 580 CFRA. Get it all in one place. Sign up now at ctvnewsottawa.ca. The CTV News Ottawa newsletter is brought to you in part by CAA Business.
As a live look at some of the roadways here in Ottawa, the highway system, and things are quite smooth for your Sunday evening commute, although we do have some snow in the forecast as we get ready for another look at the weather forecast. And that shot that you see there behind me, the Rideau Canal, opening in its entirety starting tomorrow morning. It is cold out there, but not too cold for some of these pups to get out and enjoy the outdoors at Bruce Pitt. They will, however, want to stay inside most likely tonight. There is a real risk of frostbite with a low of minus 23 degrees. And there's mild wind as well, but when you factor that in, we're looking at wind chill factors at around minus 28 overnight. So taking a look at what we can expect weather-wise as a quick look here at the satellite radar. Very little in the way of cloud activity or any precipitation here in our region. Out on the East Coast, it's minus 3 in St. John's, a very chilly minus 15 in Charlottetown, minus 17 in Fredericton out there. And of course, they've got a little bit of humidity to contest with today as well. A stark contrast for us here in Ottawa at minus 14 when you compare us to Toronto at minus 3. Same with Windsor. We'll be getting those temperatures in just a little bit. Just got to get through this last little push of extreme cold weather out on the prairies. Minus 10 in Regina, minus 15 with snow in Saskatoon. It's minus 19 degrees in Edmonton, and surprise, surprise, the hot spot in the country is Vancouver at 9 degrees with a mix of sun and cloud. It must be nice to kick the feet up and enjoy the beach, but we have the canal, so I'll take it. Expecting that low of minus 23 tonight. I mentioned that snow as well over the course of this evening and into tomorrow afternoon. Periods of snow in the Ottawa Valley as well. Minus 9 by tomorrow afternoon. Minus 24 is the low along the Seaway, and you can see that same chance of flurries, the high of minus 12 for tomorrow. Getting up to minus 9 degrees on Tuesday, and then that's really when the warm-up starts, is the day after on Wednesday. Minus 2 degrees, 0 on Thursday. And then we've got rain and snow mixed into the forecast for Friday and Saturday as we get above the freezing mark. Well, Canada has unveiled its men's hockey team roster for the 2026 Winter Olympic Games, and for the first time in more than 70 years, it does not include any players from Quebec. CTV's Anastasia Dextrine reports.
Players from 6 provinces will take the world stage as part of Canada's 2026 Olympic men's hockey team, but players from Quebec have been benched.
I think it's just not the year. I think there probably was a few options, but maybe none that were glaring.
Ontario is represented by 1 goalie, 1 defenseman, and 6 forwards, and Alberta by 1 goalie, 4 defensemen, and 2 forwards. But this marks the first time the team will have no Quebecers since 1952.
This also coincides with the World Juniors going on, where there's only 1 Quebec player currently on the team, and Caleb Desnoyers.
John Goyens is a hockey analyst, and he says the sport has seen a decline in La Belle Province.
Some of that is attributed to other countries doing a phenomenal job in their development of goaltenders, for example. You know, you could think of countries like Finland and Sweden really upping their game, and obviously the U.S. over the last few years has done the same.
But when examining Quebec talent on the ice, experts say there's another issue.
What are they doing in Ontario and West that we don't do here that makes it so we're not picked? You look at kids that are getting more diverse, that are less interested in playing in hockey. And with the program that's being created, there's no program in Quebec that valorizes inclusion.
Former NHL player Georges Laraque and Goyens say Quebec officials need to focus on the grassroots level to encourage more young players to get involved in the sport. Chris Churchill-Smith is a novice hockey coach in NDG, training roughly 100 next-gen players.
I think Quebec has a crazy amount of junior talent. And it's sad to see that there's no Quebec players representing Canada in the Olympics. And, you know, I'd love to see Hockey Quebec take a critical look as to why.
As for up-and-comers, they're using the facts as fuel.
Does it inspire you to want to play more? Or?
Yes, I want to play more.
Anastasia Dextrine, CTV News.
We thought it was true because it seemed like it was come from the provincial government.
A new scam targeting seniors on the road. What you need to know right after the break. Well, in case you missed it this week, December marked 16 years since green bins first appeared at the ends of Ottawa driveways. Not everyone picked up on the idea at first, but as CTV's Leah LaRocque reports, while pressure builds on the landfill, more residents are going green.
It's garbage day. And Steve Brunet can't remember a time when he didn't bring the green bin to the curb.
No, it seems like it's pretty well been forever.
The Organic Waste Weekly Collection Service marking 15 years since it was first introduced in the city.
The Wilsons decided to try out Ottawa's new green bin program.
The program diverts organic waste from landfills and produces valuable compost.
We see the benefits of it, and we agree and support it.
But many turned their nose up at the program at first.
Reluctant, still reluctant. For the little bit of stuff that we have that goes in it, it's a chore to get it out every time.
A big change in 2019 allowed plastic bags and dog waste to go in here.
That's organic material. If processed appropriately, it can be safely reused.
So they can put their food waste into the plastic bag to kind of reduce that ick factor. And we actually saw an 8% increase in participation from when that policy was first introduced to a year later. So it certainly helped people to participate.
And in 2024, the program expanded to multi-residential buildings. So where does everything that you put in your green bin eventually end up? It goes to a specialized facility where things are shredded, mixed, and composted in aerated tunnels. In 2024, the city collected nearly 88,000 tons, compared to about 55,000 tons in 2012, the earliest data provided. This city still hasn't convinced all residents. Annie Garneau uses her green bin to store hockey sticks.
Again, I would rather a solution that is local to your house, right? Like helping people composting.
But down the street, Jasmine Lafreniere says every bit that goes in here helps.
Like tissues, waste like food.
And the program is nothing to dump on.
I think it's a good idea if you're using it effectively and using it appropriately.
Leah LaRocque, CTV News.
A new year and a new scam is hitting Canadians, this time targeting seniors who drive and creating all kinds of confusion and concern. CTV's Emma Convey has more.
Lots of drivers on the roads in Halifax today, many of them seniors. Some who thought with the new year came new tests to drive.
I see it on the internet mostly about the changes coming into effect, and I think it's totally wrong. There's lots of good drivers out there, seniors.
He's referring to false information circulating online about new Canadian rules for senior drivers.
In Ontario, there has been discussion about perhaps changing the rules around how drivers are tested as they get older. And so the scammers have taken that little bit of truth, that the fact that they're thinking about it, and turned it into something that making it sound like it's going to happen.
This scam is something the provincial government says they warned the public about.
We thought it was true because it seemed like it was come from the provincial government.
In a statement to CTV News, the province said this is part of a misinformation campaign that's going across Canada. We've heard from several other jurisdictions that they are seeing similar messages to this.
We are seeing this popping up not just in Nova Scotia, but it happened 5 months ago in New Brunswick. It's happened in the fall in Australia.
There are many reasons why these fake campaigns are started. One, according to David Shipley, is to make it look like our society is falling apart.
A number of nation states, Russia, China, Iran, other places, making the West look broken is job number one. The next part of it is it weakens us. Anything that can tear our society apart at a time where we need to be more united than ever.
Or just people causing a stir online to build an audience that will react to these topics over time.
One of the reasons that seniors are vulnerable is that they're often too trusting.
I live in a seniors building, and my sister lives in a building, seniors building, and there's an average of 2 scams per week at my residence.
Emma Convey, CTV News.
Reservation no-shows can throw off a whole day of preparation and planning for restaurants, and it's an issue that some say is getting worse. In Quebec, businesses can now charge a fee for those who fail to make their reservations. Here in Ontario, there are no such fees, but restaurant owners are calling on people to be courteous.
I'm working on beef stock.
Whether it's filling customers' bellies with classic French cuisine,
This is my wine cellar.
or quenching their thirst with the top European wines, Chez Elixir in Kitchener's Belmont Village offers a fine dining experience. But its owner and head chef Farouz Jafari is experiencing something he's not so fine with.
I believe people reserve in 2-3 different places, and then at the end they choose to go to one of them.
Reservation no-shows are nothing new for the restaurant biz, but the holidays tend to reignite those frustrations.
Those two, they didn't show, we just put cancel, and this 9 cancel. This 12, he said, oh, my girlfriend has reserved elsewhere.
In 2023, Jafari began asking customers for deposits to reserve a table. Then he ran into a new problem. People stopped booking altogether.
I removed that from our website. We don't want deposit because some people didn't like it. And some people said, oh, I'm not going to give you my credit card number.
So he removed that feature and went back to the old ways. But so did restaurant guests. Leading up to Christmas, Jafari says out of 49 reservations, he had 25 cancellations.
It didn't give me a chance to prepare properly. Yes, it affected my service. I couldn't say anything. Customer is always right.
It's a problem that has plagued the restaurant industry across the country. Earlier this year, Quebec allowed restaurants to start charging $10 per person in an attempt to help with no-shows. Ahead of the holidays, CTV News checked in to see whether it has helped.
What we have seen an increase in is people calling to cancel the reservation, which is really what restaurants want.
Although reviews are mixed.
If someone reserves for 30 people, but only 3 people show up, well, you can't apply it. You can't charge them the 27 people that didn't show up, because that's the way that the law is written.
Back at Chez Elixir in Kitchener, the message from Chef Jafari to his customers is clear.
I love all of them, and even if they don't show, but, please let me know that you're not showing up.
So he can ensure his seats are just as full as his customers' bellies. Spencer Turcotte, CTV News, Kitchener.
Like an airbag and is completely inflated by the time you hit the ground.
Coming up, combining airbags with pants. We'll show you the unique fall protection clothing created in Montreal. A Montreal company is specializing in the development of an inflatable fall protection clothing line, combining airbags with pants to protect seniors in case of a fall. CTV's Christine Long has that story.
That's the sound of a small airbag inflating as Azimut Medical co-founder Pierre Lee demonstrates a fall. The waistband of those pants is full of technology.
Like an airbag and is completely inflated by the time you hit the ground. And so the goal here is to protect your hips, protect hip fractures, protect from pelvic injuries.
Co-founder Maxime Bolduc explains the slim airbag hardware isn't new, but their patented software can recognize a real fall and not just when you're plopping down on the couch.
The training material for the multi-layer machine learning algorithm that we have. And so what we do is that we derive real movement, real falls from people, and we train the algorithm on that.
The idea was inspired by his concerns for his grandparents. And if ever there was a grandson qualified to build this, it's Bolduc. He has a degree in mechanical engineering and a master's in innovation management, which he used to create a product more advanced than traditional hip protectors.
They were called hip protectors. They were more like the hockey players' equipment, right? So this innovation that is coming with the inflatable hip protector is something great because people wouldn't really like the hip protectors we had in the past.
Geriatrician Dr. Stéphane Lemire says proper protection in falls could reduce the need for hospitalization in seniors.
This issue of preventing falls, preserving mobility, making sure that people will not break something.
Yet, at this point, these revolutionary pants don't come cheap. The commercial price could be $1,500 a pair.
So using this right now, our pre-production version is 64% more effective than a regular hip protector.
Clinical trials begin in January with a list of clients in Quebec and Ontario who want to start the new year with more safety on their sides. Christine Long, CTV News.
In tonight's big picture, the 27th annual Ice and Snow World Show in Northeast China is set to be the largest yet. Take a look at this theme park for this year's show. It includes that giant ice castles, I should say, giant steam train slides and snow sculptures as well. It is a fairy tale world for winter enthusiasts. Weather permitting, the show will go on right through until mid-February. And it's time now for some of the other stories that you need to know. CTV's Natalie Van Roy joins us with those. Natalie.
Thanks, Austin. Well, Team Canada is looking to get one step closer to gold tonight at the World Junior Hockey Championships in Minnesota.
In comes Parak. Parak sends it back in there. Parak turned away the rebound. The Bourdain scores.
Canada and Czechia face off at the semifinals tonight at 8:30. The Czechs have knocked out Canada in the last two World Junior tournaments, and they have won back-to-back bronze medals after earning silver in 2023 when they were beaten in the final by the Canadians.
Plays it hit the Frundell. Anton Frundell.
And the winner of tonight's game will face the winner of this game. Finland and Sweden are going toe-to-toe right now in their semifinal matchup. Sweden with an early goal in this one. The Scandinavian rivals have seen recent success at the tournament, Finland earning silver last year after falling to the U.S., and Sweden securing the silver medal the year prior, also falling to the Americans. Now, this game is still underway. It is currently 3-2 for Sweden in the third period.
Cousins follows up, plays it free. Switch up, got it over, scores! Back
The Ottawa Senators keeping up the momentum in 2026 last night with a win at home against the Winnipeg Jets. The Jets are now riding a 9-game losing streak going back to December 15th when Ottawa and Winnipeg last met. Now, last night's final score, 4-2 for Ottawa, and the Sens are back on the ice tomorrow to face the Detroit Red Wings at home. Puck drop is 7:30.
If there's something you can do.
Moviegoers set a post-COVID record for box office spending on New Year's Day, more than $48 million U.S. across the United States and Canada. Avatar Fire and Ash was out in front with an estimated $15.7 million, while Zootopia 2 continued its record-setting run with $6.7 million. And table tennis comedy Marty Supreme brought in $4.4 million for third place. Austin.
Yeah, looking forward to watching Marty Supreme. I haven't seen that one yet. I watched Zootopia just the first one just a couple nights ago. It's classic.
You're saying it's classic? Yeah, it was good.
You like animated movies?
You know, I do. Yeah,
okay,
I do.
right.
I'll have to check that out.
What's your favorite, to put you on the spot?
You know what? That is a good one. I'd have to say animated. Probably Lion King.
Lion King?
Lion King. Yeah, I went to go
one.
see it in theater, too.
I'm going Shrek.
Yeah.
And after the break, we will introduce you to this cute little bundle of joy, the first baby of the year born in Pembroke. Before we go to break, there's a live look through our Centennial Class Skycam. It is minus 14 degrees.
Hairstyles, courtesy of Salon Fiorella.
Here's a recap of the top local stories we're following right now.
Venezuela!
Mixed reaction here in Ottawa following the arrest of Venezuelan President Nicolas Maduro and U.S. airstrikes in the South American nation. 2 people are dead, 1 injured in Cornwall after gunfire rings out in the community about an hour southeast of Ottawa.
So proud of this. I'm so happy I got to meet the Charge players. Super excited.
And lacing up with the pros, dozens of girls hit the ice with the Ottawa Charge for a special hockey camp aimed at inspiring the next generation of hockey stars. Okay, well, one last look at your weather forecast, and we are expecting things to be quite cold here in Ottawa tonight, minus 23 with flurries in the forecast, feeling closer to minus 28 when you factor in the wind. And then at around Thursday is when we will get the 0-degree mark, and then warming up from there. Some Rain in the forecast for Friday and Saturday. Finally for us tonight, we're celebrating another first baby of the year.
Well, this time in 2026.
Meet Noah Daniel Cameron, his parents, Savannah Sanford and Philippe Cameron, and his big brother Harrison. They welcomed the little lad to the world on New Year's Day just before 1:30. Look at how excited they are,
so
obviously.
Big
adorable.
smiles.
Yeah. The family's from Mansfield, Quebec. Little Noah coming in at 6 pounds and 2 ounces. Very big congratulations to everyone there, and Happy New Year. Good night. Thanks for watching.